Hello and welcome to Boosting You, your ultimate wellness platform with me, Dr. Sue Peacock.
And I'm Shirley McLean. And today it's all about, we're going to give you a treat today for you pet owners. So it's all today about the healthy benefits of owning a pet. And it's fascinating how much of our relationships with animals can impact on our well-being as well. And I see it all the time with clients and family as well and friends. Just the thought of their pet can just shift their state totally. It reduces stress. And it even, helps us manage chronic pain, even, from your perspective as a health psychologist. So, how do you see pet ownership influencing mental health?
Oh, absolutely, it's key, isn't it? Pets provide that companionship, that structure, that reason to get up in the day sometimes because they need to be fed or let out or whatever. And sometimes, it even gives us that sense of purpose, doesn't it, of nurturing and looking after them. And all of those things are really crucial for that sort of psychological resilience. And we know from the research that interacting with pets can reduce our cortisol. That's that stress hormone, and it increases the oxytocin, that the bonding hormone, and that's a really powerful psychological and physiological shift just right there by changing the chemicals.
Yeah, and I'd also say that that mirrors what we aim for in hypnotherapy as well. So regulating that nervous system as well, moving from that fight a flight into that, parasympathetic, nervous system, that restful state as well. And in fact, I sometimes guide clients through visualizations where they can just imagine even maybe stroking a pet, to trigger that relaxation response.
Well, that's lovely, but it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Because even physically interacting with your pet, such as stroking your dog or hearing your cat purr or whatever, engages the senses in a really calming way. And I don't know if you notice, but I've sometimes noticed if my dog's sort of sleeping, your breathing kind of goes in tune with hers. It's really nice, really relaxing. Anyway, it's not just about stress relief, is it? Because there's research out there, isn't it, that suggests that pet owners experience lower blood pressure, reduced heart rate variability, which is linked to anxiety, and even enhanced immune function.
Yeah, right. And there's something about predictability too, isn't there? Pets create that routine, walking the dog as well, some or feeding the cat. The structure can be grounding for people as well with anxiety or depression. Have you seen that in your clinical work?
Yeah, definitely. Routine is key for mental stability, isn't it? And sort of beyond that sort of structure, which is important, pets also provide that sort of non-judgmental emotional support, don't
Yeah.
they? They're always pleased to see us. So for individuals sort of suffering with loneliness or grief or even post-traumatic stress,
Mm.
do offer that unconditional presence, don't they? They don't ask for explanations of stuff. They're just there, aren't they, providing comfort for us, which is just amazing.
Yeah, and that also ties into pain management, doesn't it, as well, which is an area that I focus on as well. Chronic pain is often intertwined with stress, anxiety, and a sense of isolation. But a pet can just really shift that attention away from the pain and provide that tactile, that emotional relief. There's one of my clients, and I'm not exchanging any data either here, but she has MS and she got a pet and she struggles many times as well. And she got a pet, and it's kind of like she went through training as well to have a therapy dog, which has been her kind of like lifeline as well. And there's even research showing how therapy dogs reduce pain perception in hospital patients. That's why I've thought of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I've shared some experiences, when I've worked in hospitals or in a hospice, the therapy dogs are just, it's everyone's so pleased to see them. It kind of makes their day. And they just love being stroked and cuddled. It's just brilliant. And
Yeah.
I just think that's really important because it's partly about distraction, isn't it, from where they're finding themselves? But it's also about that emotional regulation, isn't it? Because people in pain often feel quite powerless, don't they? But
Yeah.
caring for a pet, for example, sort of fosters that sense of agency, doesn't it? And that can be really empowering for some people.
Yeah, that's a great point because there's also the movement aspect as well. So walking a dog, even just getting up to feed a pet, that can make people more active than they would otherwise. Obviously being they might have just been staying in bed, can't be bothered getting up, but you've got to get up for these little things, haven't you?
And yeah, absolutely, and we can't overlook that sort of social connection, isn't it? Because you've got a dog like I have. Pet owners often talk to each other, don't we, on dog walks, or
Mm,
if we have to go to the vet, or I think there's even online pet communities, isn't there?
mm.
So for people who struggle, say, with social anxiety, that pet can be almost kind of like a bridge, kind of a social bridge to making interactions so much easier. Because people always talk to your dogs probably more than they talk to you, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, because we've not we I live near Heaton Park and it's a big park, a well-known park, and you're going with the dog and all the doggy people sort of like hi hi, and if you walking with the dog and then you'll see somebody who's not got a dog and then it'd be like morning, and they kind of like look behind as if to say were they talking to me. And I do think that so in a way that pets do actually function as therapists in their own right. I think reducing stress, encouraging that movement, providing that comfort as well, and even providing that social engagement.
Yeah, exactly, and it's brilliant, isn't it? And I also love that hypnotherapy can kind of enhance these benefits, can't it? That combination of kind of mindful awareness, that positive visualization, and pet companionship can all be a really important, incredible strategy, really, for improving both mental and physical health.
Yeah, and maybe there's something we could explore further, how hypnotherapy could deepen that therapeutical impact of pet ownership.
Oh, that sounds like an exciting area of research and practice, doesn't it? We better put our thinking caps on.
Yeah, yeah, we'll have to think about what we can come up with that. Okay, then. And I think that's a great place just to have a little break for us till next time on that. Yeah. So it's bye from me.
Bye from me.